Here at KSMO Radio, 1340 AM, your hometown radio station. Time for us to have our Intercounty Tuesday, and we have Heather with us this morning. Heather, you there?
I am here.
You are here. No feedback this time. Isn't that amazing?
Much better, huh?
Much better, much better. Well, Heather is still trapped in her office. She's been there for the last 2 months, and we hope you're having a good time over there.
Well, it would be nice to get out and drive over there, I won't lie.
It would, but probably today with all the rain, maybe not as nice a day as you might have thought. Maybe Saturday would have been a good day.
Saturday was a beautiful day. I'll take more of those.
I would too. So anyway, well, it's good to hear everybody doing healthy on your side.
Yeah, we're all doing well.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so now we got all the pleasantries out of the way. Since you're not here earlier, we can't talk about that. See, that's what we normally do before our show.
I know. We got to get it out of the way, huh?
Absolutely. But anyway, a couple of things have happened. Obviously, we know with the COVID-19, things have changed, and that includes the annual meeting, doesn't it?
It does. We are going to have a very odd annual meeting this year. We're still going to have one, but it's going to be different, that's for sure.
Okay.
So first big change is that it's not going to be the last Friday in June. Our board has decided to postpone that until August 7th. And, that's a big change in itself, just to not have it that last Friday in June, because that's what we're all so used to. But
right, and I'm sure it won't be warm either.
Oh, not at all. Not in August. What would make you think that?
Just guessing.
Yeah. So part of the real struggle with this, and Stan, I know you'll understand, but a lot of times our members don't realize how much planning goes into annual meeting and how far in advance some of these decisions have to be made.
Right.
But planning for August 7th annual meeting, we've got to make decisions now on what that meeting is going to look like. And our board has decided to move forward with sort of what we're calling a bare bones business meeting. We are required to have a business meeting. It's where our members vote on the important stuff. They vote on the election of directors, and if we've got any proposed bylaw changes, which we do this year, then they'll vote on those as well. That's where the financial report is presented, and, we hear from our board president on the direction of the co-op. So that business meeting really is what our bylaws say that we need to have.
Right.
Intercounty has made this into what, we call every year and our members call Intercounty's annual picnic. We want to make it fun. We want to make it a time to visit with friends and family and a chance to talk with your Intercounty employees. We always have lunch, and we try to get as many crafters and vendors as there. We have the health fair tent. This year, we're just going to do the business meeting. So there won't be a meal, there won't be crafters, there won't be drawings. It's going to be really strange for the employees and just as strange for our members. So we realize it's different, and we don't like it either, but it's the direction we need to go this year, and we will definitely look forward to getting back to normal in 2021 for our regular traditional annual meeting.
Okay, but this still is a very important meeting because there's still an election that needs to take place. And as you mentioned, there are some bylaw revisions that are up for consideration as well, and people need to look at their rural Missouri as it comes in, don't they?
They do, and I hope they're looking at those anyway, but absolutely, your annual meeting information is going to be in there, and we'll share information as we get it in there. We talk on the radio too, so if you're tuning in, then you get to hear that information as well. But the business meeting is absolutely important, and voting, you're a member, you're the owner of this co-op, and your vote is absolutely important. So we hope that our members still take that responsibility seriously. Something we've done the last couple of years, and we're going to continue to do, is mail out the ballots. If you remember in the past, it was a little bit more difficult to vote by mail just because you had to wait to clip out that request to vote by mail out of the magazine and mail it back in and wait for your ballots. And the last several years, we've been mailing the ballots directly out to the members, and there's a return envelope. You can cast your vote and return that with the registration card, and then you're still able to vote even if you can't attend the meeting. So I really suspect that the majority of our members are going to vote by mail as opposed to coming to the meeting.
Right.
And we understand that. So even if you don't come, voting by mail is a way to participate in this important part of your co-op. So we'll get the ballots to you. You can vote by mail. There'll still be a drawing, electric credit drawing for members who vote by mail. So we'll have that $600 electric credit, the 2 $200s, and the 4 $100 electric credit drawings for members that vote by mail. So, there's still a chance they could win something.
Sure, you're not taking any of that away. It's just, and people, and let's just reiterate, they are welcome to attend the business meeting. But you will have to still do your social distancing, correct?
Right, and something that we've been working on, we've measured the pavilion over there, trying to figure out how many chairs we can get underneath there and still be 6 feet apart. We're not going to have the stage for our board directors because there's not room for them to all be up there if they're social distanced. So, right. The format's going to be a little bit different, but the nuts and bolts are still going to be there, and the business meeting will still take place, and the voting tent will still be there. Not as many people will be in there voting at the same time, but regardless, we'll still have that open, and you're not going to see the long shoulder-to-shoulder registration lines like you normally do. Those will have to be marked off as well, and I think our members understand it's not fun, but it's just necessary this year, and I really do mean it when I say we're all looking forward to next year's annual meeting, because this one it's not going to be the same. It's
going to be a little bit different. Now, have they changed the time since it is in August? Because you know as well as I do, Heather, it's going to be hot.
Right. Well, and it'll go quicker.
Well, I know it'll go quicker, but I thought they might move it up a little bit because of that.
I think what they're looking at, and this is not set in stone yet, but normally the business meeting starts at 10.
Right.
I think they're looking at starting the business meeting at 9 that morning. And, there's, without the entertainment and the other stuff that's going on, typically, the business meeting portion is not going to last a real long time.
No.
So we expect to probably keep all our offices open. It won't take all of our employees over there like it normally does for a regular annual meeting. So we'll have limited staff over there to take care of the business that's going on over at the park, and then we'll have the offices that'll remain open for normal co-op business like usual.
Right. And as you had mentioned when we got started, because you have to plan for this so far ahead of time, by August, maybe we won't even have a big problem, but you can't assume that, can you?
I know, and that's something that we've gone back and forth with, and we certainly hope that by August 7th, all this is over and past, and we're getting back on the track for whatever the new normal is going to look like, but we don't know, and so, we just got to move forward with a plan, and this is the best plan we've got for right now. So.
Okay, so very good. So August 7th. So anybody that's still wanting to go, you're welcome to go. But you may want to get there like 8-ish or so if you want to attend that business meeting. As Heather said, they'll not have any definitive time yet, but it's probably going to be moved up a little bit because by 10 o'clock usually in August, it's about 93 degrees.
It's warm.
Yeah, usually. So anyway, but we'll keep you posted on that, and we've still got a couple of months to let you know exactly what the final plans will be. Very good. All right. Well, that's not wonderful news, but it's wonderful news we're going to have the meeting.
Right.
Is there any consideration there to stream that, or is it just going to be the business meeting as is because that's what is required by the bylaws?
We looked at streaming that this year. That's not something we're going to move forward with.
Okay.
So maybe in the future we'll see some of that happen, but not this year.
Okay, so I wanted to ask that before somebody else asked you that. So there you go.
Good question.
You got that. So a lot of business meetings now are being streamed. We all know that people are doing a number of different things through Zoom and log me in and all the different ways you can do it. But that's another whole issue in itself, isn't it?
It is, and there's a lot of considerations to think about, when you move forward with a meeting in that format. So
very good.
This year's going to be different enough for us in itself, and we'll tackle this year, and then we'll see what happens next year.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have it streamed next year.
All right, very good. Okay, so anybody that keeps their eye on the rural Missouri, you will be getting your June 1. Your May 1 had some description of what the issues are
Right.
for the and the officers who are being elected. So you can get that in there. Now you can still submit your name as an officer. They've done that by proxy before, haven't they?
Yes, so by petition.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm sorry, I said proxy, didn't I?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You can beat me with a stick next time you see me.
Okay, that'd have to be a long one today, wouldn't it?
Today you're going to have a 27-mile stick, but but next time hopefully it only have to be 3 feet.
Right. So any of our members who would like to run for a board director, that's an option for them. That's part of being a member of a co-op, is that our board is elected by our members, and our members are able to run for those positions. So if that's something that a member's interested in, they can certainly give our office a call and find out some details about the nominating committee meeting and how to get in touch with that group. And then also if they want to petition to have their name on the ballot, then that's an option as well. So lots of considerations there.
Even though it's a different type of meeting, it's still a meeting, and still all the protocols will be followed as it normally would be, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, obviously we'll know more when next month when we get together with Heather, and also look for your Rural Missouri. They'll be explaining this a little bit more in detail as well. But do look at those issues. There are some bylaws in there that they have some changes with, and read them and get a little bit familiar with them, and you'll be in much better shape to vote when that your ballot comes up.
That's right.
Very good. All right, so while we have you on the phone here, and let's talk a little bit about it. Obviously, we remember we had a surplus auction that got postponed. Has there been any rescheduling date on that?
That has not been rescheduled.
Okay.
We do still have all the stuff, so we did not get rid of it. We will.
You're not going to give it away? You're not going to
No.
give it away to people, that just come up and say, hey, I was going to bid on that, but, you didn't have the auction, so can I have it?
Yeah, can I just pick that up? I don't know. I think we'd have a lot of angry people.
You'd have a lot of interest.
Well, we would. Yeah, we would.
Okay, so no plans on that yet. That might be
Not
something that may happen in the fall yet, but we just don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
Kind of all depends on what's going on. Very good. All right, so while we're in this time of, I don't say semi-isolation anymore. We're not so much in the, stay-at-home orders as critical as they used to be, and as definitive as they used to be, Heather. It's still a good time for people who are not on Smart Hub to get on Smart Hub, isn't it?
It absolutely is a great time to get on Smart Hub, and we do talk about it. It seems like every month, and yet we have people every month that say, "Oh, I never heard of that before." Where they come in or they call in the office and they've never used it, maybe never heard of it. But Smart Hub is our online account access tool. You can use that from a computer, laptop, but you can also access it from your smartphone. There's an app that you download.
Mm-hmm.
Just search for Smart Hub. But it really just gives you control of all aspects of your account. You can check your usage. You can pay your bill. You can view payment history on previous bills. We talk about phone scams so often, about someone calling and impersonating someone from the co-op and trying to scare you into making a payment over the phone by telling you that your payment wasn't received. You can really easily hop on Smart Hub and you can tell right away if there's a balance on your bill, or if that's been paid and how you paid it and when, and all the details surrounding that. You can report service issues. We've talked about before, if you've got a power outage, a lot of times the phone lines, especially in a larger outage, we've only got so many people that can answer the phone at once. And, you can hop on Smart Hub and report that power outage, and it goes to our dispatch center in real time. So really convenient way to get those outages reported. You can view your usage overlaid with average temperature data. I mean, there's tons of tools on there for our members to take advantage of.
And if people aren't aware what those tools are, they can go online and check it out. And once you get on Smart Hub, though, and if you're not quite sure how to use that tool, all you got to do is call the office, and the customer service will help you out, right?
Right. You can always give the office a call, and we'd be more than happy to walk you through how to get the account set up. And we've had members that have downloaded the app before, and that's as far as they've gotten, and they need a little bit of help getting their account set up, and we can certainly talk them through that over the phone.
Very good. That you guys are very, very patient with people. You know, some people just don't do that very often, and some are a little bit afraid to do that. They think, well, I don't want to put that on my phone, or I don't want to put that on my computer. It's just another thing that somebody can get into my computer with. But this is a secure site, though, right?
It is. Yep, it is 100% secure. That's a priority before we would have even thought about offering this to our members.
So we want everybody to know that all that information there is secure. So there's nothing that somebody can get in there and sneak in and take this and take that. So, you know, if you want to get Smart Hub and you're not familiar with it, call, get information. You can just go to Intercounty's website at ieca.coop, and it explains it I think it explains it very well online myself. I think you guys do a really good job of explaining that.
Yeah, and if you're going to set an account up online, then it walks you through the steps on getting your account linked to your Intercounty account.
Right.
So, yeah, very simple to walk through.
Very easy, so very good. All right, so that's great. You know, one of the things when this COVID-19 virus hit and a lot of adjustments were made, Intercounty made some adjustments, make sure that members are well taken care of during this time. Are those continuing at this time because they are starting to relax the rules, Heather, or are there any changes being made?
We have not made any relaxed changes as of yet.
Okay.
You know, I'm still calling in from the office today instead of being over there with you. Our servicemen are still, you know, taking precautions out in the field. They've got staggered hours so that different crews are arriving at the warehouses to load up at different times, you know, so there's not a large number of them all there at once. And here in the office, we're still separated. We've taken advantage of having the large auditorium space, and we've got some of our employees out there, and you know, gives everybody a little bit of extra space. And we've got Germex and hand washing stations at each door, and we're doing the best we can.
Okay, so everything is status quo as it was when we first got into all this. There will be a time when that will, you know, go back to normal, right?
Right.
Just don't know when that
right
is
now, our lobbies are still closed to the public.
Okay.
Our Mountain Grove and Rolla offices, they've got the drive-up window, which is really convenient. It's been a little bit of a challenge here at the Licking office just because we don't have a drive-up window. Members are still able to drop their payments off in the drop boxes, but you know, if they want to speak to somebody, they're calling in, and we're talking to them over the phone and getting paperwork. If there's something like setting up an account for the first time, you know, that's a little bit different. But yeah, when we do reopen, I fully expect there to be some changes. It's not just going to be all at once reopen and back to the way it was before. I would say we're going to have a limited number of people that'll be in the lobby at a time, and you know, changes like that. But as of right now, those lobbies are still closed to the public.
Okay, very good, very good. This has been a perfect time to build that drive-through window right now, though.
Well, the problem is
you don't have any room.
We don't have the driveway space next to the office that would work. So.
Just knock the school out and go ahead and put it in, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure they would appreciate that.
They probably wouldn't. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. Of course, if they came back to school and all of a sudden they have a new drive-through window for their intercounty bill, it'd make it easier for them to pay it.
Well, it would.
It would be. But I know you guys are too nice to do something like that. So now I do have a question, though. That because a lot of people who are buying property, we do know the property sales from people in California who want to escape California are really starting to pick up. People are buying acres and acres and acres, and Heather, we all know that a lot of the acreage that has been sold does not have a house on it, and people want to get services to it, which means you got to contact an engineer from Intercounty. How are those services? Have they been affected by COVID-19?
Yeah, so you can still contact our engineers. They can come out, take a look at your property. They can work on stuff. We talk a lot of times about easements that they may need to get or check and make sure that they already have. That work can all still be done. They are going to practice social distancing out in the field. So if you meet them out there at the property, it's not that they're not trying to be friendly. It's just they're probably not going to shake your hand like they normally would.
Right.
Absolutely, if someone's bought property, or maybe it's property they've owned for a long time and they're thinking about putting power out to it, please still give our office a call, and we'll connect you with an engineer, and we can start getting things lined out for that.
Right, and the business services that Tony takes care of, that hasn't changed either. That's all still available, isn't it?
That is all still available. Yep.
So people need to know that just because there is, a stay-at-home order that was issued that's now being relaxed a little bit, that does not affect any of those other services. So if you've got an expansion that you need done, or you're wanting to find out more about the different funds that Intercounty has to offer through their business services, or about the light replacement program that they have that Tony can help you out with, feel free to contact them, because those programs are still in full force.
Absolutely right.
Okay, very good. Well, I wanted to clear that up too, because people say, well, they're not over there anymore. Yeah, they are.
We're still here.
Yeah, still there. There was something that was on my mind, and I slipped.
Was it youth tour?
Well, the youth tour was coming up, but that wasn't the next thing. I had something come in my mind, but it just slipped away. So while we're talking about youth tour, let's just go with it.
Okay, good, because that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, well, if you want to talk about it, then that's the way it is.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Youth tour is one of those programs that's just really exciting for me, and I think especially for high school juniors, it's really exciting for them. But as you know, I think we talked about last month, didn't we, that the trips had been canceled, but we weren't sure what we were going to do yet.
Right, and as of the day I talked to you on Tuesday last time, they canceled the trips.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a tough call that our national organization had to make. And it was just one of those things. You hope that it's better by the summer, but you don't really know. And taking 100-some kids out to D.C. just didn't seem like a wise thing to do. And Missouri's not the only state that participated. Once we get out there, those kids are around. There's a group of about 1,500 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And their health and safety is just as important as the health and safety of our employees. So the trips were canceled. The timing of this COVID-19 scare, if you will, caused us to not be able to hold our final judging, which the school submits their top 3 essays. If they have at least 3 students that participate, they submit their top 3, and then we interview those top 3, and that's how we determine who wins the trip to D.C. and who goes to Jeff City.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had to cancel and have not been able to reschedule that interview. What we did is we took those essays from the students, and we selected a panel of judges not affiliated with the schools. So these were fresh eyes on the essays. We removed the names from those, and we numbered them. We gave them to this new judging panel, and they ranked the essays. That was the final judging. So a little bit different this year, but the essay made them top 3, and then again the essay determined if they were first place or if they were one of the runners-up at their school. Not ideal. You really get to know these students in the interview setting, and again, just one of those things that we wish we would have been able to do like normal, but we had to adjust a little bit. So we do have winners' names, and we have decided what we're going to do with these students. So what we're doing is we're awarding each student a scholarship that they're going to be able to use after they finish high school next year.
Okay.
And the first place student from each school will receive a $2,000 scholarship. And the runners-up from each school will receive a $500 scholarship.
Nice.
That is money that we had budgeted for these students to be able to go on those trips anyway. So
Okay.
it's not money that we're asking members to contribute. This is budgeted money that would have went to the trip, and now we're making sure that it's still going to the students. So we're excited to be able to offer them something. We know it's not the trip. We know it's not the experience, and we'd love to be able to give that to them, but it just, one of those things, didn't work out this year.
Hands are kind of tied on that.
They are. But if we've got extra time, I'd like to read the students' names if I could.
You go right ahead because this is your show, girl.
Okay. So for Kabul, and I'll just read our first place winner's name first, and then the runners-up second, and just keep in mind that first place winner will be awarded the $2,000 scholarship, and then the runners-up the $500 scholarship.
Okay, great.
So from Kabul, we have Olivia Sheets and Dahlia Cannon. In Mountain Grove, Kylie Shepard and Adrian Thomas. St. James is Trey Riley and Chloe Rogers. In Plato, we have Wayne Lang. Over there, your neck of the woods in Salem, we've got Martin Jones, your lone essay writer this year. Licking, we've got Sam Sullins, Matthew Funk, and Haley Britton. Houston, Emily Scott, Jesse Wilhite, and Christian Leonard. Down in Summersville, we've got Brett Gimple, Zeb Howell, and Gavin Yearwood. And then finally over in Rolla, we have Caitlin Kleffner, Kayla Decker, and Victor Nam. So congratulations to all those students. You made the effort to write the essay, and that is huge. So
Absolutely. We just emphasize the importance of having this opportunity for a junior. You get it once in your life. That's it. And to bypass it for no reason except to be lazy, I don't know, just doesn't seem to set well with me because, it's something that's going to take you all of no more than an hour to get done. And the benefits are just so huge. Not only for the individual, even if you didn't get a chance to go to D.C., you're going to get a scholarship. Even if you didn't get a chance to go to Jeff City, you're still getting a scholarship. But the opportunity, if that would have been there for them to go, you can't. That $2,000, that might be the cost of it, but the experience itself is priceless. Priceless.
It is. And, we hear that every time, and I share this every year. The students come back, and they tell us year after year, I had no idea what I had won until I got out there.
Exactly.
And it's the truth. You really can't comprehend what you won until you get out there. You're with 100 other students your age from Missouri. You're out at our nation's capital, 1,500 high school juniors from across the nation, and you're in D.C. You're seeing the history. You're learning about the government processes, and we've talked before about they've learned about these things in their textbooks. They've seen these monuments and the memorials, but it is just not the same unless you're out there. And we sure wish that this group of students would have been able to have the same opportunity, but we wanted to make sure that we still recognized their effort, and that's why we've decided to go with the scholarships.
But if you have a child right now that's a sophomore and next year they're going to be a junior, don't let this opportunity pass by.
Yes, that's the best advice so far on the show.
Yeah, it just breaks our hearts when we see this chance, and I don't want to say if any, but there was Rollo, a couple years back didn't have anybody turn in an essay.
No one even attempted to participate at all.
And that just breaks my heart because, I think we're in a society, so throwaway anyway, that people think, well, it's just not that big a deal to go to D.C. or that it's not that big a deal to go to Jeff City and see how all this works out. I've driven through Jeff City. I know everything about it. No, not even close. And the
Right.
same thing about D.C. You could go there and spend a week. You haven't touched anything.
No.
I mean, you could be there a month and you're not going to get to everything. There is so much to see and so much to do, and you can't put it into a one day. You try to go to Smithsonian's, and if you do that and you say, well, I'm going to give it a week, you're not going to make it through. You
Yeah,
just
you
won't.
still would.
Yeah,
It's too much to
it's
see.
so yeah. Well, if you can walk between the buildings, but if
Yeah.
you want to go into buildings and start, because most of those have 3 to 4 floors and a basement. So when you go into them and you go in the aerospace, you're definitely going to be intrigued by what you see, and you want to read about it.
Right.
So
Take it in.
oh yeah, take it all in, and it's just amazing. And when I think Heather, I mean, I'm a history kind of guy, and I think anybody that'd ever be interested in where our nation came from and how things happen, when you go to Smithsonian, you get it's not a snapshot. It's actually an effort that you have to make to go to the buildings that you want to go to, because there
Hmm.
are so many choices. There's 9 buildings, right? I
I
believe.
believe so.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can go to all 9, but you're not going to get there in one day. But you
No.
you can get to one building basically a day, maybe. And if you really read everything in it, you won't get through one a day. It took me 4 hours to get through the introductory building because I was reading stuff.
What we try to tell the kids when we are able to take them out there on this trip is ahead of time, decide what it is you want to see, what
Hmm.
interests you, and make sure you get to that building to see that thing, because it is so easy to lose track of time and just get caught up in whatever it is that you go to first. And we want to make sure that if they never get to go back out to our nation's capital, that they at least got to see whatever it was that most excited them at the Smithsonian.
Exactly. And one of the other things too, Heather, when they're there, and I highly recommend this to anybody who goes to DC, whether it be the students that go, or maybe somewhere down the road, maybe you can go out there with your child and share these experiences, is pick up a guide. And I know that they're free. You can get them. You can pick up a guide there, and it will tell you all the different museums in Washington, D.C. And I think I spent one night counting them, and there was 297. So get the idea that there's a lot of different things you might want to see. That includes the FBI museum that you don't hear much about, but it's there. They have a mental health museum. They have all psychiatric museums. They have different museums that you might not even know. They've got a mob museum. so, so
There's a lot out there.
there's a lot out there, and the neat thing is that there's a lot of those that offer tours that you can go to. Obviously, White House tours, everybody's kind of familiar with that, and then everybody wants to go see their congressman and get a tour of of the Senate chambers and the House of Representative chambers and different things of that nature, and go and see the first Supreme Court room and things of that nature. Hey, it's all great. Don't get me wrong, that is fantastic, and you need to do it. But there are a lot of other museums there that might spark your interest. So pick up those booklets. And last time I was there in D.C., now it's been a few years, those were free. All you have to do is pick them up. And my goodness gracious, the education that you can get out of that trip is just immense. Immense.
Hmm.
And it tells you a little bit about our country. So, well, first off, congratulations to all those students who submitted essays. Second, even more congratulations to those who were selected by their schools as the top 3. And then a third congratulations goes out to the, first off, it had to be tough judging these without having input from the students. And I want to give kudos to that group of judges that you guys selected, because that could not have been an easy determination.
Yeah. And part of why we have it set up the way we do is the essays are judged, and that's a part of making it to the top 3. But then, the students maybe who are not as strong writers but can interview well, are very personable, that's their chance to kind of shine as well. So we really like the setup we have. We like being able to judge the essay and then get to meet the students and visit with them face to face. But this year, again, we adjusted and maybe not ideal, but it worked this year. And next year we'll look forward to interviewing the students, and hopefully, like you said, if you're listening and you're a sophomore or you have a child or grandchild that's a sophomore, please participate in the program next year, because it is a huge opportunity.
Oh.
And you don't get it again the next year. It's just for high school juniors. So.
One shot. You get one shot, 1 year.
One shot.
Yeah. And hey, well, first off, I guess right now we have to kind of hope that there will be school next year. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but the way things are going, who knows anymore how things are going to happen. So, we'll look forward to that. And hopefully that everything gets back to normal here pretty soon. One of the things that normally at this time of year is very, very busy, because you have a lot of fairs and different things that are going to be going on normally. That has changed for Intercounty as well, hasn't it?
It is, and we're still, waiting on some groups to decide if they're still going to have a fair or not have a fair, and some of them have already decided not. I think we'll continue to hear from others that they're either rescheduling or canceling, but yeah, it's just we're playing it by ear and taking it as it comes. And if it's still going on and we're able to social distance, then I would expect that we would be there. But again, we don't know.
Right. And we want to remind people that Intercounty does make presentations to groups and things of that nature. Now, right now, the groups are having to be kept at a smaller level, but that doesn't prevent them from still putting on a presentation. So if you would have something neat, as long as you've got the room and they can do social distancing, I'm sure you guys could still put on a maybe not as vast a presentation, but something that would be very informative.
Right.
So, but again, all the conditions would have to be met.
Yep.
Before that would before it even be considered. So kind of keep that in mind, and we're kind of hoping that hopefully by middle of the summer that we're going to be able to get back to normal, and hopefully those fairs will be rescheduled or expos or whatever they may want to be calling them, because this is that's a great time for people to really meet Intercounty one-on-one, isn't it?
Right.
Well, you guys really love that, yeah.
We do. Well, just like the annual meeting, it's one of those things. We enjoy getting out there and visiting with our members. And we've talked before about how many good ideas, suggestions, and sometimes even issues come up when we're able to visit with our members at, say, annual meeting or these local fairs. So we don't like it either.
Okay.
To be honest, we don't like it either. We want to be out there. We want to be visiting with our members and wish that the fairs were all still going on and we didn't have to worry about the social distancing. But still, please, if you have ideas or suggestions or concerns, please continue to let us know. Even if there's not going to be a fair where you can come talk to us face to face, give us a call or send us a message on Smart Hub or go through one of our drive-thrus and let the ladies at the windows there know what idea it is or concern that you have. So we still want to hear from you. We just may be hearing from you a little bit differently this summer.
Yeah, and one of the things, now I remember what I was going to ask you about, actually not really just so much ask you about, but talk to you about, is Intercounty has gone on a very, very good tree trimming program in which they have kept their lines pretty much clear. But it doesn't mean that a limb can't still fall on a line. And we've had some pretty good winds here in the last few weeks here with some storms. We may get a few more here in this upcoming week. And Heather, we want to remind people that if you have a limb that's on a line and you've got some concerns, don't sit there and wait for the wind to blow it down. Call.
Yeah. And last week, Monday and Tuesday, actually, Monday night really, we had some severe weather in our service territory, mainly up in the Mountain Grove area. But, even with our more aggressive right-of-way, sometimes Mother Nature does her own thing, and we can still have, like you said, trees on the line, limbs on the line. Let us know so that we can take care of those. And please, especially after a storm, I know everyone is interested in going outside and walking around and looking at the damage. And Stan, you've always been really good to remind our members that is not okay. Please do not do that. Majority of the time when there's been a storm, there's been rain and the ground is wet, and water and electricity do not mix. That's one of those fundamental things we learn even in grade school. So as interested as you might be with what the storm damage looks like, please don't assume that downed lines are de-energized. The system, our distribution system is set up to operate safely in the case of storms, but sometimes things happen and those lines can still be energized. So please just stay away from down lines. Be leery of going out and walking through storm damage, because I'll tell you what, those power lines, when they're all mingled in with downed tree branches, they're not easy to pick out. I mean, they blend right in. So
yeah, especially at night if you're trying to see them, you'll never pick them out.
Yeah, especially at night.
Yeah, so if you do lose your electric at night due to a storm, please don't go out there and try and find out why. If you just let the Intercounty know, and then they'll get there as soon as they possibly can. But one of the neat things about this right-of-way that they have done is it has prevented a lot of these limbs from just normally falling on the wires. But what it doesn't prevent is when you get these high straight line winds of something blowing into the lines. And this is what happens, Heather, and there's nothing that anybody could do about that.
No, there's not. And sometimes, with as wet as the ground has been from all the rain that we've had, and then you've got those high winds, it doesn't take a whole lot to uproot a tree and fall it over. Just a lot of damage that wind can do. There doesn't have to be ice. We talk about ice storms a lot and the damage that ice can cause, but it's not always just ice. Those winds can really wreak havoc on our system as well.
I also wanted to, now that it's getting a little bit warmer, and I wanted to remind people, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me, even though we're not having as many yard sales that we would normally have at this time, this is an election year, and a lot of people like to put signs up. Unfortunately, they feel that they can put those on those electric poles that happen to be very close to their home. Not a good idea, right?
Not a good idea. And really, we ask that you don't do that. Those poles are compromised anytime a nail is drove through there, and those poles are designed to last for decades. And the more holes that are put in them, the more opportunity for water and bugs to get inside those and cause that pole to have to be replaced sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. Also, we've got guys that from time to time may need to climb those poles, and I realize that we've got bucket trucks now, and not always do you see the linemen climbing the pole. They may be able to get a service truck in there, but that's not always the case, and we want to make sure that those poles are safe and free from any staples or nails, anything that might snag their safety gear and compromise their safety while they're up there working on those power lines.
Absolutely. So, guys, do not put anything on those poles, and do not grow hedges and vines around the poles either.
Yeah.
That is not a good idea.
we've seen a lot.
Yeah, I know you have. But people think, well, I want to hide that pole, or they want to hide the transformer box. Okay, if you put something around your transformer box, first off, you better be very cautious, because that's a high electric right in there. But you don't want to put anything that close, because if the guys have to get in, they're going to have to rip it out.
Right. And if you're digging to plant something in an area where electricity is coming right in, that's not ever a good idea either.
Better call Dig Right, right?
Dig Right.
Yeah.
811. Yep.
Yeah. But what the thing is what we're trying to really get across is that I know aesthetic beauty, a big green box in your yard may not be aesthetically beautiful, but if you want to plant hedges or something, plant them 12 feet out. said they're not going to be part of the problem,
Right.
and still call 811. But or go 1-800 dig right online. You can do it as well. But you want to be careful. Please be careful about these things, because if Intercounty has to get in there, then they have to go and they have to do their job, and it really doesn't matter how much time and effort you put in there if you put those rose bushes right up against their box.
Right. If we've got to get in and work on them, then we don't want to mess up anything that you've spent a lot of time planting and trying to make your yard look nice. But if they've got to get in there, they've got to get in there.
Got to get in there, and it takes them extra time too, because now they got to go rip out those plants. So not something they want to do, and they don't want to damage your property at all. So please, work with them. If you have questions about that, contact them at Intercounty, and they can give you all the details.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very, very good. There was one other thing that I was going to bring out, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but it's slipping my mind. But I wanted to make sure about the polls, and they'll get that all out there, because it is that time of year, girl.
It is. Well, I've got one other thing that I want to talk about if you can't think about.
Well, you may just stir my memory. Is it Roundup?
Okay. It is Roundup. We are 14 members shy of 15,000 participating in Operation Roundup.
That's fantastic.
So if we could have 14 members add their account to Roundup, what it does, literally what it sounds like, your bill is rounded up to the next nearest dollar, and that spare change, which could be anywhere from a penny to $1 if you were on Love Live's billing, but typically anywhere between a penny and 99 cents, averages out to be about 50 cents a month. You round your bill up, and that spare change goes to the Operation Roundup Fund. And then each month, that's the money that our Roundup delegates have available to use as assistance for individuals, families, organizations that are in our service area, in our outermost boundaries there. And we can help them with things like rent payment or mortgage payment or materials for a handicap ramp. Maybe it's prescription medications. I mean, there's just any number of needs that arise. And that's what the Roundup money goes to help with. And 15,000 has been a goal for us since last year. At annual meeting, I believe our board president challenged us.
Give ice cream.
I know, and now look.
But you haven't made it yet.
We'll have to have it next year.
I know, but you haven't made it yet anyway. So you just have to say that contract that he went into is effective for 2021.
Yeah, we'll just carry that forward.
Absolutely.
But it's really exciting to me that we're that close.
Yeah.
14 accounts. So huge thank you to all the members that are participating, because literally there would not be a program without the members that participate. That's where the funds come from. 100% of those funds are turned around and pumped back out into the communities for those families and organizations. So huge thank you to the members that participate. If you want to sign up, multiple ways you can sign up. It's incredibly easy. Let us know however you want to get a hold of us. Let us know you want to sign up for Roundup, and we can take care of that for you. But also, please just remember that if you or maybe someone you know is in a situation where you could use a little bit of assistance, that's what the program is there for. It's not something you sign up on and is a reoccurring assistance program each month. This isn't something you sign up for and you're going to get rent assistance all year. It's a one-time assistance, help you stay on your feet when something's happened that has caused you to kind of get a little bit behind. So great program. We have some really incredible delegates. They're actually, last month and this month again, they're going to meet over the phone. They're doing that meeting over the phone, but they are still meeting. They're making sure that those applications are being considered and that those in need are being taken care of.
Very good. I do remember what I was going to ask you, and I wanted,
okay.
Well, it really wasn't ask you, but just let people remind people that even though we are relaxing a few things, there's still a lot of people out of work. If you have a problem paying your intercounty bill, don't just ignore it. Please let them know, and they can work with you.
Very, very good point, and I should have brought that up myself, so I'm glad you remembered.
You were busy.
Yeah, I had other stuff on my list, huh?
You had a lot of stuff on your list, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely let us know, and that's not just right now. I mean, anytime, if you're having difficulty paying your bill, please don't ignore it, whether it's right now during this pandemic or prior or later on after all this is over. Always let us know. We can work with you on a payment arrangement. We can try to get you in touch with some local assistance organizations.
Mm-hmm.
There's places out there that can help, and maybe it's just that you need a little bit of extra time, and that's where the payment arrangement can come into play. So please don't ignore your bill. Call us, let us know so we can make a note on your account. We don't want our members to get so far behind during this time that when our policies and procedures go back into, what we normally
normal
do.
mode, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Normal mode,
Yeah.
You're right. We don't want someone to be so far behind that they're just completely overwhelmed.
And like Heather mentioned, there are agencies like the South Central Missouri Community Action Agency can help out, and they will work with you on your electric payments and air conditioning and heating, and they can help you out there if you're a low-income person or you meet their qualifications. You can get assistance. Please look into that. And and Intercounty has a number of different agencies. That's just the one that deals in Dent County and Reynolds County and all those on this side. On the other side, I'm not sure who that agency would be, but they are there for you, and that's why they are there.
Right. Good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, it's a tough time for some people, and I know some people have not even gone back to work yet. There's still some people out there that, when they do start to determine non-essential and essential jobs, and now they're relaxing that a little bit. But Heather, we all know that there's some people out there that just, if they have gotten back to work, they just did, and that's that might have been 6 to 8 weeks that you have not been able to work.
Right.
That's a long time. And there's a lot of bills that start to back up.
Yes. So give us a call. Let us know. Let us work with you and help you out any way we can.
I don't have anything else. Oh, okay. I do have one other thing. Memorial Day.
Yes.
Offices will be closed, right?
Our offices will be closed. So we know our lobbies are already closed to the public, but our offices will be closed. So if you call in to try to talk to somebody about your account, the only person we're going to have available is the dispatcher for emergency calls, just like we normally would on a holiday where we're closed. So if you have an outage or an emergency, you can absolutely give our office a call. We've got someone in the dispatch center 24/7. But otherwise, if you're calling to take care of normal business, you can reach us at 8 o'clock the next morning.
Tuesday,
the 26th.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I threw that back out because I remember seeing that in the rural Missouri.
Yeah, we had it in there.
Yes, you did. And so I want to remind everybody to please do read your rural Missouri, your Intercounty edition. Some people may not get the Intercounty edition, so you won't get that middle section that tells you a lot about what's going on. But if you do, don't ignore it. It has a lot of good information in there every month, and it also will give you more information about the annual meeting coming up here shortly.
That's right.
Very good. Heather, I don't have anything else.
Let me leave our phone number in case somebody needs to call for any reason.
Okay. I want it to stop raining. Can you do something about that?
Well, I was going to ask you to put in an order for that. So.
Okay. Well,
I'll leave that with you.
I got to stop here. How about licking?
I don't know. I don't have a window.
I told you were in the dungeon.
It feels like it sometimes.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Phone number. Mm-hmm. Phone number. Toll free is 866-621-3679.
How about the payment number?
Payment number is 888-678-1987.
Okay.
Or you can always visit us online at ieca.coop, C-O-O-P.
Very good. Or if you have Smart Hub, you can also contact them through your Smart Hub.
You can. Yep.
Very
Absolutely.
Good. Very good. Well, it's always a pleasure talking with you, Heather, and we really appreciate all the information you've given us, and hope that we're back to normal next month so we can say howdy to you.
Me too. I'll be ready to drive over there.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you for the information today. And if anybody has any questions, they can get in touch with Intercounty and they get those answered. If you heard something on the show today that you're not quite sure of, it's as simple as a phone call or going online. And that's what's neat about Intercounty. They've done everything they can to make it as easy on you as possible to get the information you need. Pretty good,
Well,
huh?
thank you.
Well, you
Pretty
guys do a good
stuff.
job. You guys do a good job. Really good job. All righty. Well, girl, you have a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you in a month.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Take care of yourself. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Heather Satterfield from Intercounty Electric, and we really appreciate her spending about the last 55 minutes going over a number of different things. Again, their annual meeting will be on August the 7th, but it will be a board of directors meeting only. They'll not have the picnic that they have in the past, and so we'll be giving you more information on that the closer we get to it. But again, that will be August the 7th, so not the last Friday in June as they have done for so many years. I don't remember. I think one time it got rained out or stormed out, I think, but otherwise, besides that, and they had to reschedule it. But I think besides that, I don't ever remember them having it on a different date. So kind of keep that in mind, August the 7th, and that will be when the Intercounty's board of directors will have their meeting, and they'll do that vote and count the tallies and come up with the information there. And that will be open to you, by the way, if you want to go. Or you can just vote on in the mail when they send those ballots. The ballots will be out in the rural Missouri. You can do that as well. All right, very good. Okay, keep it here, KSMO Radio. Big Jim's going to come in. We got some stuff for you. We're going to start things out, though, right here at KSMO Radio, your hometown radio station, with our civic record here shortly, right here on KSMO Radio. We're going to get to that next, right after this.
This Spotlight on Soybeans is brought to you by Missouri soybean growers and their checkoff. The Missouri Soybean Merchandising Council conducts checkoff-supported street